May 1st.
May 1st of ridding your homes with toxins, right?
And your body, yeah.
And your body. So keep that in mind.
There's a lot of bad chemicals out there getting running around.
Yeah, that was Vicky. So we know about if Todd's wife.
We have not rescheduled her yet. We're hoping one of those first 2 weeks in May after that May 1st date. So like the 8th or the 12th, 15th, something like that.
If she's not able, we can always
If we
try
would
and,
only get maybe a point and a half, then the other half a point, could you do if you get only like a quarter of your walk time in, or like 1 month worth, or something like that?
We also said, I'm sure he also does a healthy eating one, so I'm sure he would probably be willing to come in for a 4th one as too. I shouldn't speak for him, because originally he's like, whatever ones you want, I can do them all. So.
We're going to be at camp.
Stop it, Emily.
That's what I asked.
You're kicking me.
Alright.
Do you guys give we have a newsletter we send out. If you guys want to, if you're interested in the newsletter, you can put your email on here. It's just a free thing we offer out different health advice and health tips and stuff. Also, our Facebook page has a lot of cool stuff on it too. So kind of like that, a lot of awesome tips on there. And then if you want to put your phone number down, we can call you up to set up a stress screening. We can see how stressed your body is. You don't know unless you get it checked out, right? It's just like cavities in your teeth. You don't know if you have anything until you get it checked. So if you are interested, just put them down. And if you don't, or you already did it last time, you just skip it too. So.
Make sure that you sign in. There's a sheet coming around too that Pat wants us to sign in. You did it already. It's over there. But if did you guys all sign?
No.
Sarah Hastings is here.
But we have verbal proof.
You'll be able to hear it.
It's nice when stuff works.
Yeah. I was just going to get it past the back. Because we're going to do all the work. I was just counting. You ready to play?
There we go, one of those
We can't talk.
top stress busters.
I'm recording.
Here, there's some. Thank you. I'm gonna have a few of them left. You make copies of.
You think that's us out?
Do you need to make more copies? Are we okay? I'll mark some more copies.
Eat a good breakfast.
I'm making so much for that. I have to be stressed.
Alright, are we ready? Ready to rock? More nerdy, right? Alright. Got a couple slides to go through today, and if you have any questions, we can save them for the end. And then we'll try to just zoom through this really quickly now, and then you guys get your points. So. If you have any questions about anything, save them for the end, and then we can get to them. And yeah, hopefully we can learn some stuff about how to decrease your stress and a little bit of higher level. So, I guess like Tracy said, I'm Dr. Steve, working at Horicon. Been out of school for a little while now. I've been working on family chiropractic. There's my family. I was a little younger at that time, so I had a scary mustache. But my dad, Dr. Jay, he's been in Horicon since '91, practicing, helping out a lot of people. He's a great guy to learn from. I'm really fortunate to be working with him. That's my mom. She's a nurse in Watertown. My sister Emily, the blonde one, she's going to chiropractic school as well. She's 2 years behind me in Minneapolis. My brother Mike, he's a senior in Horicon. Then my sister Laura, she's at Whitewater. She's a junior this year. She's going to do something healthcare related as well. And then, yeah, there we are for Valentine's Day. So, what exactly do chiropractors do? I think I explained this last time, but it's all about making, we adjust the body so it's able to work better, and we deal all about like with stress in the body and interference. So what Tracy said, you know, we do talk about stress. I'm like, well, that's perfect, because we deal with, you know, in our society, our emotions, we're still stuck, you know, our bodies haven't changed a lot in the last, you know, 1,000 years, but our technology has increased so much, and all this stress from everything being so much faster and everything being at a higher rate is all kind of more on us, and our bodies can't handle it, so we're all really stressed all the time. Our bodies, our bones get shifted out of place with, physical, chemical, emotional stresses, and then that puts pressure on our nervous system, which is ultimately what controls everything in our body. So what we do is we assess the body, we find those interferences in the system based upon all the stresses that we've been putting ourselves into, and then we eliminate those stresses, get the bones moving the right way, and then allow the body to work a lot better. So the brain can communicate with everything else at a better level, which allows stuff to work better. Yep. Nerve flow, improve motion, better circulation, prevent degeneration, prevent arthritis, improve your immune system. And then chiropractors, we love to motivate, educate, and empower everybody, get less stress on everybody, and then that leads to longer, happier lives for everybody, you and all your family. So healthier individuals, happier families, and then stronger communities. That's what we're all about. So everybody themselves is stronger and healthier, then the whole town is healthier. And that's what we're trying to do with Horicon, we're trying to do Mayville, Beaver Dam, all that. We want to touch as many people as we can, and you guys learn this stuff today, and you can spread this to your friends and family, and then that helps us affect way more people ourselves. So it's a lot of good stuff. So here's a picture of the spine. It just shows if you have stress in various parts of your spine. These nerves, they not only go to your pain fibers in your body, so you not just only have back pain, but if you have any misalignments or any kind of stress in the body, that can affect nerve flow to, say, your lungs, heart, all these organs, your eyes, ears, nose, throat. That's why a lot of people that have digestive issues or people that have, say, asthma, they can get relief with chiropractic care. They can improve their symptoms because the body's able to communicate with those organs better, and then that allows them to work better. So, especially, we had a kid come in the other week. He had really bad asthma. He's 8 years old, and he's on a couple of different medications, and then his back right in here, where those nerves go to your spine, to the lungs, is really flat, and we've been adjusting him now for a few weeks, and he's been able to decrease his medication by half, so that's pretty awesome. So drugs are necessary sometimes, but a lot of times, we can kind of scale them back if we look for more natural alternatives. Then it just kind of says why I'm a doctor of chiropractic. Honor the inborn potential of everyone to be truly healthy, and the biggest thing is we choose to treat the patient with the disease, not the disease itself. So that's kind of what separates chiropractic from everything else. When we try to treat the whole person versus focusing on, if they have a broken arm, or if they have a sinus issue, we just focus on treating the sinus. We focus on the whole person, and then when everything's balanced, all those symptoms tend to go away because they're just warning signs that something's wrong in the body, right? So we want to treat the whole person, make sure that we know everything that's going on, and yeah, so it's all about correcting the cause, not just the symptoms. Because if you chase symptoms all day and just take medications and drugs, you're really not getting to the cause of the problem. It's like, if your engine's really squeaky or loud, and then you just turn the radio up louder, you're not going to fix the engine being bad, right? You got to go under the hood sometimes and pop it open and see what's going on. With chiropractors, do we actually feel the spine, feel how the body moves, feel the muscles, and see what's off, and then give people a solution that should help them. So, I just found this out the other day. That's pretty cool, huh? Yeah, the more desserts we, the more stressed they're going to be, so. She's pretty happy about it, I guess. So how many of you guys feel burned out there? Anybody ever have days where they're kind of at their wits' end, the kids are crying?
Yeah, that's it. Report card.
Yeah. So, like I said before, so yeah, a lot of people in society these days are really burned out. You guys, you have kids at home, and then they have their problems, and you come here, and the kids here have problems, then you just never get a rest really from stuff. And a lot of us feel really tired out, and we have a lot, stuff is increasing. Everybody has so many different activities going on these days, so we have less time to bounce back and kind of recover from stuff. And we all have a lot more responsibility every day. We're all seem to be aging a lot faster, a lot more irritable. A lot more people are getting a lot less sleep out there too. So that's kind of some of the main reasons why I feel so stressed. And then stress is really expensive too. So we lose millions of dollars in productivity every year because people are just stressed out. And maybe some of you guys look like that at the end of the day. Before you get home and just hit the floor, your tank's on empty. And medical costs too are really high because when we're really stressed, our immune system goes down, and our ability to fight back with the external environment and stresses that are put on ourselves. When our body's weaker, we're more susceptible to different medical issues too. So like cold and flu season, a lot of people, you get sick in the winter because you're more worn down, you're not going outside as much, you're always inside, everybody's together all the time, and then your body's immune defenses are down, and that can lead to you, being sick and could lead to other stuff too. So, this kind of shows how stress affects the body. Just we're not getting too deep into the science of it. I don't want to bore you guys too much, but you can see it affects, your heart, your digestive system's affected. Let's see, sex drive is affected. Yeah, pretty much every system in the body has some kind of effect. Really tight muscles, you get that a lot when you're really stressed out. And it's really far-reaching, not only in your mind but everything else. All your body systems are affected by stress. So it's really important that we find the root cause of stress and find out what kind of bad stress is in our life and how we can possibly decrease that so that we live at a higher level. Alright, so we can put a stop to the madness of stress. 2/3 of all illnesses before 65 are preventable. They found out that treating stress is more difficult than preventing it. So like Benjamin Franklin said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure, which is true with almost anything. And like as a chiropractor, it's a lot easier to go in and somebody has a lot of back issues, when they're younger, and if we can really fix those issues, it takes a lot less time than if they wait until they're, a little older and then they have a lot of arthritis develop and a lot of degeneration. The body still gets better, but you're not going to have as much of a recovery as if you would have gotten taken care of a lot sooner. So that's why if any of you guys have any kids, grandkids out there, just, it's good to have their spines checked, especially at a young age, especially when they're developing a lot, because as they're growing a lot, if you have an oak tree and it grows to the side because there's shadows blocking it, it has to go this way, it's probably going to keep growing that way, right? So if you can fix it at a young age and help it grow straight when it's, a year or two old versus when it's 20 or 30 years old, that can really do some benefit for that oak tree or kid. So, yeah, good to check everybody, just like, you go to the dentist, check your teeth check, good to check your spine as well. So, increased stress at work might be a big factor with all the stress in our lives. Maybe you guys are feeling some of these up here. Higher expectations with lower budget and less resources to work with. I'm sure maybe some of you guys have experienced that, one or two of you. A lot of paperwork. You guys have to document a few things, I heard. Whenever something happens, you have to write a little note or 10 pages worth of notes maybe. Work relationships, not everybody gets along at work, so you come here and you have people that, I'm sure you're really friends with, but all you guys are friends, right? People that aren't nice aren't here. Supervisors and the computer, sitting at the computer all day really adds a lot of stress on people, and not only your mind, but your body as well. Talked a lot about that last time I was here. And then, so what is stress? All it is the way that you react to change, so physically and emotionally and mentally, and it can be positive or negative. So there's a lot of positive stress up there, what we're talking about. And so the program for managing stress, you want to first be aware of what kind of stresses are in your life and how they make you feel. And then we want to try to deal with relaxing and unwinding and how you can get ready for the next challenge in your life once the stress hits you. And then how we can kind of make these lifelong changes in our lifestyle and our attitude changes, and that'll help us deal with stress better forever. So first we have to have awareness. A lot of physical reactions to stress can be muscle tension, like I said, heart rate increase, blood pressure increase, stomach issues. Your judgment can be off. You don't think as clearly when you're stressed out a lot. You're kind of just like when a bull sees a red flag. Just wants to charge that red flag for some reason. It makes him mad. And then the spinal cord system misalignment leads to dysfunction of our body actually working the right way. So maybe some people have high blood pressure. Maybe they're the people that are watching the Brewers, and if the Brewers aren't winning or they get down in the last part of the game, they just get really angry for some reason, even though they're not even within 1,000 miles of the game and they have no control over it. But yeah, we just have to realize that we can only control so much, and yeah. So if you know anything with really high blood pressure and it's not like a hereditary thing, they're kind of on edge all the time. Maybe you can tell them to do some of these things we're going to talk about today. That can really save them a lot of stress themselves. So the difference is in after the stress is finished occurring. That's what separates positive and negative stress. So we can either stay stressed after the stressful event has happened, that's negative to our body, or we can relax after the stressful events happen, so that's positive stress response. So, like I said, people that are, if any of you guys have these symptoms, it might be time to take a look at the stresses in your life and try to change it a little bit so you don't have to deal with the stress in your life and cause a lot of health issues. So if you guys watch a lot of media, newspapers. If you get up in the morning and look at the newspaper every day, and there's 20 killings in Milwaukee and 100 people died overseas, and that's not a good way to start the day, right? That kind of puts a small stress on you, like right off the bat. And then you're looking at on TV, you're looking at the poor Kardashians. Forbes got pregnant again. Wow, too bad for them. That kind of brings you down too if you're really tied into that. If you have something happen and you feel geared up all the time and you just can't relax after something happens to you, then that's a negative stress. Maybe say you're pushed beyond your limitation constantly with no rewards. Maybe some teachers out there, you guys are pushed pretty hard and not a huge reward system for what you're doing. But yeah, then if you're stuck in a lot of negative cycles that seem constant all the time, that's something you want to get out of as well. So we want to try to avoid these things as much as possible. And like I said, physical changes, brain-body interference, stomach issues, blood pressure, heart rate, muscle tension. Also, we do a thing at our office called charitable chair massages. We'll bring like a chair, like a massage chair, we went to a few weeks ago, and we'll do these massages for people, especially in the upper back. And everybody's got, where do you hold your stress the most? Right under your shoulders usually, right? So everybody that I've found just have these big knots, like they're growing on their heads. It seems like they have these huge knots on their shoulders, and that's kind of why I'm here today too, because everybody's got stress of one kind or another, right? And we all hold it up here or over there, and when we do get stressed out, we're always tight all the time, and that kind of holds our spine and our body like this, and then we get less oxygen to our body because our ribs can't expand as much, and then we have less oxygen, and that can prevent us from feeling as energized as we should too, and then that kind of causes us to be more stressed out and just a bad path. So by the end of today, we'll be able to figure out how to kind of deal with and learn how to mellow out every once in a while. So like I said, a lot of stress is kind of like a big traffic jam in your body, right? Say you have some bones off in your spine, put pressure on the nervous system, all those nerves, there's millions of different messages going from your body to your brain to your body all day long, and we're just not aware of it because it's so awesome and it's occurring all the time. If we were aware of that, we wouldn't be able to move because there's just millions of things happening. And when our body's out of alignment, or when our spine's out of alignment, that can cause like a big traffic jam in our body. And when all those messages aren't able to get from the brain down to wherever they have to go, or from the body up to the brain, then they kind of build up in the body and this tension develops. And that's why we kind of feel on edge all the time. So you really want to make sure that your spine's lined up the right way, and then you're avoiding all those other emotional and physical stresses in your life too. When everything's lined up the right way, your body works a lot better, and a lot of people after they get adjusted, they'll say, I feel a lot calmer now, or I feel, like I'm a lot lighter almost because their body's working better, which makes sense to me. Emotional changes, say that you never have any true relaxation, you just feel like you're in a never-ending traffic jam. You feel like you're in one stressful situation to another all day long. Your brain never really shuts off, even when you're sitting in bed at night. You're kind of sitting there staring up at the ceiling because you're just worried about what's gone on before. Maybe you're even able to shut the day off, but you're still, for some reason, you won't go to bed, right? So, maybe some of you guys look like that crane that's about to fall over the edge there. Is anybody like that in here?
No.
No? Or are we on an even keel right now? Just cool, calm. January? Okay, only 4 months now. So yeah, emotional change. You feel like this, and this is great talk for you. Chemical changes, usually people are more stressed, you might start smoking more, use of drugs and alcohol. Cats in the world don't use drugs, and then a lot of people use foodies that escape themselves. Yeah, that's your old deal. And then we got up in mass destruction.
All these things about, I know the things about solar weapons and that.
You got boyfriend stuff on there, and you're feeling stressed out.
Yeah, it's made out of food. It's all made out of food, right?
You go into the bag of fun-sized candy bars, and they're really small, so they're good for you, right? Only a couple of them. Then you go back and forth, and before you know it, they're all gone, right?
Yeah.
Right, there's like a bag of,
Nobody sees you eating it.
no, that's right, if you eat it fast enough, then you can find out about it, right? You also get some ice cream, and the big thing of ice cream, they have a little bit, at a time, and then 2 days later, there's 15 servings, and I'm like, come at it. So yeah, gotta be, like, we made a little bag of chips with 5 servings in it, it's like, nobody's gonna eat that 5 times. So we gotta be really careful what kind of food we're putting in our body as well. So here's some positive stress examples in our life. So, when you go and lift weights at the gym, or you put stress in your body, you can get muscles. So those muscles won't happen unless you put stress in your body, right? So that's a positive example of stress. Your bones being strong, if you didn't put stress on your bones, they'd get a lot weaker and they'd become osteoporotic, right? So if like astronauts that go up in space, when they come back down, they have to really do a lot of work with getting their body stronger and stuff, because that stress of gravity isn't going down in their body, and they get a lot weaker. Their whole body tends to get weaker because they're not being stressed the right way. And then maybe some of you guys garden, when you first start seedlings inside, you know, they can be kind of spindly if you don't put them in the right amount of light and have the right conditions by them. They're really weak because they're not getting the right stress put on them. So that's why you have to bring them outside, right? Then there's a little bit of a transition period before you put them in the ground to help them kind of get acclimated to the outside and not become stressed out too much so they die. So yeah, you see an oak tree over there. You know, there's been a lot of stress put on an oak tree, but over time it's grown really strong because it's able to handle that stress in the right way, and then it uses that stress to make itself stronger, right? So that's what we need to all do in our lives. Tough times don't last, tough people do. So that's a really good quote that I love. And you know, there's gonna be a lot of hard times in your life, and it might feel like the world's about to end, but we just gotta push through and keep on trucking, right? Because you know, I hate to ruin it for you, but in the end, everything's gonna be all right at the end. So you know, if something happens to you today, and just take a second, and if you're really stressed out, it'll be like in a year from now or in a week from now, will this even matter what's going on right now? Because if it doesn't, if a year from now it won't matter. Just don't sweat it too much, and maybe you'll be a little bit late to something, or maybe your kids will be late to school, or maybe at work you won't get a job done at just the right time. But just gotta, everything will turn out the right way, and gotta look on the positive side for everything. So, positive stress can positive stress when you have a lot of stress in your body and you have a lot of obligations and you get them done. All that stress can help you become more confident in yourself. Having stress in you can help you perform better. If there's no stress on you, you probably do a job and you're just like, well, I'll just do it, whatever, it doesn't matter what I do. So if you have stress on you, say somebody's depending on you to get that done, then you're probably going to do a better job than if you didn't. Stress can help you focus and concentrate better. And then, yeah, being able to be cool under fire and relax with enjoyment after you're done with this stressful situation can also be a good benefit. So, positive stress, we want to have, say we go for a run, or say we're going up the steps, you want to do the event, and then when you're done, your body's able to kind of wind down, and then you quiet down right away. Or else say you get in a fight with somebody, and say you had to argue with them for something, and then, your body's able to calm down afterwards. You're not you got the point across that you wanted to, and something happened that you wanted to accomplish, but afterwards you're able to be like, this happened, and I'm able to go on to the next step now because we did what we needed to do, but we're not going to be all agitated about it all day long. So it's really important to have the stressful things happen to you and then be able to relax right afterwards. So just kind of think about that in every situation you have. So we want to be aware of our stress. Recognize the problem that we're having, and then find solutions to them. That's what everything's like in life. So recognize the problem. So we want to know if it's major change, if it's related to adapting to new or unknown things, if they're minor occurrences are adding up, they're really causing a lot of issues with us, if it's an overload, if there's too much stuff on our plate, or if it's a feeling of helplessness, like there's no way out of our life. Which there is no way out of our life, we just got to be able to deal with it, in the best way possible. So major lifestyle changes that might be affecting your stress. New job, old job, relocating you or your family, or your living quarters, family problems, new baby, death in the family, all these can be lifestyle changes that we really need to hammer out and focus on really well and deal with them in the appropriate manner, else they can really add up and cause some big stress in our life. So health habits, these can all cause a ton of stress too. Maybe some of you guys, this is the beauty you have after work some days. Catch all the good shows on TiVo, right? Watch 80 hours of reality TV on every day. We gotta watch all of it, right? And then, yep, eating habits, and then sedentary time is really big because when our body's not moving, and it kind of breaks down, and the stress kind of builds up, and we gain weight, and we get more stressed, and it's kind of a vicious cycle. So maybe this winter you guys didn't go out and run 5 miles every day because of the ice. So now, we put on a little bit of weight, and we get kind of frustrated by that, right? And that kind of adds up. So we gotta make sure that we're always being active, and try to be active in as many ways as possible. You don't have to go outside all the time to work out. So here's some minor occurrences that can add up. Maybe you're right on time for that meeting, and all of a sudden, it's a tractor in front of us.
Yeah.
That happens a few times in the week. That kind of causes our blood to boil a little bit there. Lost car keys, petty disagreements with our spouse or friends can all be issues that add up. Feeling helpless. Maybe some of you guys have this occasionally. I think everybody feels this way sometimes. When you have so much stuff on your plate, you can't really see towards tomorrow. It's all on you right now, and you just feel really overwhelmed and you feel like the world's gonna end, right? But tomorrow the sun will rise, and we just gotta deal with everything in the right way. Prioritize what's going on. Stress overload. Is that anybody in here? kid's trying to grab you one way, you know, your boss is trying to grab you another way. Situations are out of our control, and like I said, you're feeling like you're being pulled in too many directions. So then, now it's my favorite part, finding solutions. So you want to be sure that you're in the driver's seat in your life. That's the biggest thing. You don't want to feel like the world's just kind of pulling you along with it. You got to be getting in the driver's seat and getting control of your life, which is the first step in anything. So we want to try to avoid small hassles in our life, control our lifestyle changes, and then give yourself a break every once in a while. And if you do need help, you know, seek it from the right people, whether it's a professional person or, you know, say a family member or, you know, your chiropractor can probably help you out too. Ways to avoid hassles. So here's some easy things that you can do tomorrow or even tonight. Have a key rack. Put your keys in one spot in your house so you're not constantly trying to, you know, be out the door and then you're like, oh, where's my keys? And you have to check 10 pairs of pants and 2 coats and maybe the dog ate it, you know. Just have a key rack put it on there so nobody can reach it except for you. Get organized. This is a lot easier said than done. Try to get everything, you know, focus on maybe getting your kitchen organized one week, and then focus on your living room the next week, and then maybe your garage 1 month maybe. Maybe your walk-in closet the next year. I don't know how much stuff you guys have, but carpool is a good idea. You have more people that are depending on you. You can all be on time. And then getting up even 15 minutes earlier than you do right now can really start your day off on the right path. And like I said before, whenever something happens to you, you feel like, if I look at this a year from now, will it really matter what happened today? You know? Will this small interference in my life cause some issues? And then we want to try not to change everything too much at once. And if you like to do some things, you know, keep doing the stuff that makes you happy, but try to change the things that are causing issues for you right now. So it's all about gradual change over time, and if you improve yourself 1% every day, that's in 4 months you'll be over 100% improved. So give yourself a break every once in a while. Create distance with your problems. Maybe it's a friend or a person that you know that's constantly complaining about, you know, their life, and then it brings you down more. So you don't have to shut them out of your life completely, but you know, you maybe talk to them half as much as you usually do, or else maybe go work out with them or do something productive instead of sitting around and just griping about how bad life is. If it's your husband or family member, maybe not so lucky, but I know men have gotten the selective hearing thing down. Maybe women can do that too. And then just relax every once in a while. Take a few minutes for yourself, and then, like I said, prioritize your time and make time for what's important now. And then seeking help from a professional, like I said, if you do feel really overwhelmed and depressed and it's having a big effect on your life, like you're feeling like you just don't want to wake up tomorrow, you know, obviously get help sooner than later. And then, you know, have a network of people that maybe like a brother, sister, good neighbor that you can talk to about stuff, and maybe they can share with you what they have going on as well, and that can really create some good relationships. Stress journal, I found this online. This is really good. Say the next time you're really stressed, just have a little journal and write it down. Write what's causing the issues, and then kind of write what the cause of it is, why you're feeling stressed, how long you've been feeling stressed, and then possible solutions or ways you can avoid that stress in the future. Even just doing it for a week or two, maybe it'll seem really dumb at the time. You can see some patterns over maybe a month or even a week, and you can see the problems in your life that might not be so obvious, but once you write them down, they can seem like they actually have an effect on your life. And if you stop doing that stuff, you know, from now on, maybe you could save, you know, months of worry out of your life, because life's too short to worry about stuff.
What's interesting on that, since there's, you know, all the teachers in here, is research has proven that if you have a kid with test anxiety,
Yeah.
and if they sit down and write, I studied last night for so many hours, and I'm really stressed out right now, but I really know what I'm doing, if they actually write it on a piece of paper, it decreases their test anxiety, it increases their test score.
Oh, see, there you go. Real life.
Wow.
Yeah, you guys done that with your students at all? You know, have you had them write?
Those students like that,
Yeah, that'd be good to maybe do it with your students one day and just have them try it out.
Before they take it, right before they take the test, and they're, you know, nervous, just sit down and write.
Good, thank you. So stress journals are good. You look that up online, Google stress journal, there's a lot of examples. Always have a backup plan, so in case life doesn't go perfectly fine, which, you know, 199% of the time life is perfect, right? Everything goes how we want, but that 1% of the time, you know, have a plan B, you know. Say you're going out to the lake with your family and you're going out on having a picnic or something, maybe have a plan, you know, in case it rains that day. Maybe you can have something else lined up instead of having it rain, and then, you know, well, sorry kids, this whole weekend's ruined and now we don't have to suffer. Have a backup plan for it. Then it gives you a lot more confidence too when you have multiple options. If you don't use that plan B, maybe you can do it the next week or something, or the next time it rains. So, yeah, having multiple plans is very good. In football games, any kind of sports game, you know, they have many different plans to attack the opposition. So just like that, you gotta approach that with your life as well. Have people that vent stresses too, you know, anybody in your family, maybe there's a person in your family that everybody kind of ignores, maybe you don't talk to them very much, maybe you can open up to them and let them know about what's going on in your life. Maybe that'll make it seem like your life is, you know, not as bad. Everybody's got issues, you know. We might seem that we have the worst issues in the world, but everybody's got, you know, baggage they're carrying on too. And if we open up to other people, maybe they'll open up to us, then it won't seem like, maybe they'll have a lot more issues than you, and maybe your life will seem a lot better.
Yeah.
And if that person does, maybe you know the other 10 people you talk to have something going on. So, yeah. Your network is your network, just remember that. So develop hobbies that allow you to release stress. So maybe just walk with a group of ladies, go out and make it an hour. In Horicon we have an Operation Healthy Horicon group. We meet up at Riverbend Park every Sunday at 5, and we just walk for like an hour around the park or around town. And that's really good. We get some good camaraderie there. We all talk about different health events that are going on in the area, like 5Ks and different, you know, other kinds. There's like a running symposium in Beaver Dam last Saturday that we're talking about. We have a Facebook page for that too. It's Operation Healthy Horicon if you guys are interested. We have 50 likes now, but we want to get to 500 by the end of the summer, so tell your friends about it. There's a lot of cool stuff on there. And anybody can post anything they want down there too. Gardening is really good. That's a really good stress reliever. Try to use a raised bed, better for your back. Golf. Just go with, you know, easy stuff for the kids, like go to the beach. You don't have to spend a ton of money to go to Disney World and break the bank, you know, and they'll stress you out trying to get money for it. You just do simple stuff. There's so much awesome stuff outside. And kids are inside playing video games all day. They really appreciate getting out and getting, you know, closer to nature. Volunteer for something to do that'll help you boost your self-esteem and feel better about yourself. Now, I just joined the Lions Club last week, and I'm in the Phoenix group in Horicon, and then Friends of the Horicon March. And it's just, when you go to that stuff to help out, you feel really good about yourself. You feel like you're a part of something bigger. And you're helping out people without, you know, getting anything, you know, any kind of reimbursement for it, too. And that's, sometimes, just feeling good about that stuff is the biggest reward. You can't put a price on, you know, feeling good. Now we'll get some relaxation techniques to help you clear your mind and kind of eliminate the stress from your body. So, alright, deep breathing. You guys have probably heard about this, but just taking some deep breaths and breathing in so your stomach. So breathe in through your mouth? Through your nose, yep, in through your nose. We can all do this right now. Just breathe in as much as you can. And really feel your stomach kind of go out first. And then let it all the way out through your mouth. So, then you breathe in again. And then all the way out. And what this does, it takes in a ton of oxygen to our body, probably a lot more oxygen than we're used to getting in, because a lot of us are chest breathers, we only get a little bit of oxygen in, but if we drop our diaphragm and let our whole lung capacity fill up, then we can get a lot more oxygen in our body, and oxygen is pretty important, right? So the more we have, the better off we'll be. The more energy we'll have, because the body's being fed that good oxygen, so it can function better. And then, yeah, you can think a lot more clearly, too. So do this, try to just do this deep breathing, you know, a few times every day, and a lot of times, when's the worst time for your students in the day? When are the most kind of squirrely? Is it in the afternoon? 8 hours. You can make, you know, you can do some, show them some study on, have some breathing exercises for your students and make it fun for them, and then maybe that'll help calm them down, maybe. They can't be any worse, right? Deep breathing exercises. That could really help to relax your students, though.
I have one that I teach my kids that's similar to this, that, before we go to camp, to help relax them if they get really anxious about, like, laying in bed at night, where you breathe in one nostril, and you breathe out the other, and you breathe in that nostril, and you breathe out the other, and it really makes you relax and
Cool.
Peg and I did the one that you showed us the video for, where you hold on to just the kinesthetic and it's also the breathing, it's like a brain break,
That's a
and then you,
focus thing.
yeah,
But
you,
this is slow down because you really have to slow it down to get enough air in one nostril, but if you can't do it with your nose.
Yeah, cool. Maybe before I test that work too, it just helps the kids calm down more because, you know, they're so all amped up. They're on probably, you know, 3 energy drinks by that point in the day, and your body's all caffeined up. This can only help.
here we are.
Your test work will probably get better if you help them do this kind of stuff.
My husband
You're wondering what I'm doing tonight.
Calming myself down.
Leave me alone.
Alright, so now we can work on getting a mental break. So what this is find a quiet place in your house or at work here and just try to focus your mind on something positive for 5 minutes. It takes practice to try to clear your mind of all the stuff that's going on and just really focus on something. So maybe picture a day at the beach, or picture like a nice wood scene, or picture like an accomplishment you've had in your life that's really positive. Maybe like your kids winning some kind of contest, maybe one of your good family get-togethers or something. Just picture, really focus on a really positive experience in your life, and just sit there and focus on it for a few minutes, and then try to get rid of all distractions in your life, and then really just focus in on that one thing. That can really help your body kind of calm down and help your get that parasympathetic and sympathetic, those two pathways in your body to balance out. So this takes some talent. I've tried it myself, and it's taken probably a couple weeks before I was really good at it. And just try to do it, in the morning and then at night when you have some time. Just really kind of calm yourself down, focus on that one thing. And if any kind of outside thought comes in your head, just try to, recognize it and just shelf it, get rid of it. Just keep focusing on that one thing that you want. Finding a place with no disruptions or distractions is the biggest issue. So, this can really help you clear yourself and really help you be more with the present in your life, and you can really focus on your breathing and what your body's telling you to do. Because we're all, everything's so loud and there's so much technology around us that we never really listen to our bodies anymore because there's so much stuff going on. So this will really help you to clear your mind and really kind of downshift your body and get rid of that stress. Stretching, we did some of that last time. You guys want to stretch? We all get up and we do a stretch break.
Yes, let's stretch.
Get up. Been sitting for a long time, for 1 week. Just stretch a little bit, so turn your brain on by activating all the stretch receptors. So just kind of take your arm and go across your body like that. Good. Any creaks out there? No? Right side? You go above your head. Oh, those triceps nice and stretched out. Or go behind your head too if you can't get over. It's alright. This just feels good to stretch. We activate. Yeah, we use 90% of our brain is used just to keep our body in motion and keep everything working the right way. So if we activate all those stretch receptors, that can really train the brain on a lot too. And that's good to do with your students before a test as well, because by stretching and do some neck rolls, that's good. Just roll all the way around, nice and slow, get that full range of motion in. And then we can reverse it, yep. Good, then we can do some, get our hips moving a little bit here, just get the pelvis involved. Get those low back discs nice and hydrated. Good. Alright.
Yeah.
So here's a natural stress relief. So getting adjusted, like I said, gets rid of a lot of stress in your body. The spinal cord system is like a superhighway between the brain and the body with all its messages going back and forth. And then any interference to that can lead to stress buildup, and then when we eliminate those subluxations or misalignments, that can lead to a better you. And then you function and feel a lot better, most importantly. So don't just feel fine, feel great. And we don't want to just, survive, we want to thrive, right? So positive attitude is really important. Only the one thing in your life you can control is your attitude, right? Nobody else can control that for you. It's all, you'd be having, the worst day in the world compared, one person might think you are, but if in your head you think it's great, and every challenge you have has a silver lining, it just makes you a better person, then, nothing's going to stop you, nothing's going to bring you down, because your attitude's awesome, and what you think about, you bring about life. So self-talk, if you ever find yourself telling yourself that, you're dumb or you can't do something, just try to shut that voice off and really try to be like, you know what, might not be able to do this as good as some people, but I'm doing it as good as I can, and I'm doing my best now, and I'm leaving out the rest. So, yep, before you do something, like visualize yourself accomplishing it. So say you have like a stack, 5 feet high of papers to grade. Be like, just picture yourself sitting, getting a nice cup of coffee at the end of the day, and be like, all those papers are done, they're all on the computer, I'm good. And then, when you're doing it, it'll make it a lot easier task for you to do. And then, like I said, rehearse for potential stressful situations. Go over them in your mind, and then, like I said, have an alternate plan in case anything happens that it's not perfect for you. Exercise is really important. Lets you use oxygen more efficiently, kind of like the deep breathing. And when your body's a lot, when you're in better shape, you have more confidence, you feel better, you're not worried about, do I look okay, do I not look okay, and you don't have to be skinny mini or anything like that, but just try to, feel confident in your clothes and feel like you're stronger, and even just doing a little bit of weight exercise or just walking a little bit makes you feel, like a more powerful individual. So it just takes, if you're walking, you're going faster than people that are sitting on the couch all day. So every little bit counts. Any exercise is better than no exercise. And when you do exercise, you get a lot of great chemicals and hormones made in your body too, and you get kind of like a high in your brain, almost a natural one. Nutrition is really important. Your body's your temple; it's the only place you have to live. And food is very important. So it's the fuel for your body. Like I said, if you want to build a house to last 100 years, you got to put some good materials into it, right? We got to put in quality bricks, good siding, good lumber, and if we put junk into it when we build a house, we put used stuff and junk materials that are really cheap, kind of like standard American diet, the SAD diet. Then the house isn't going to last for 100 years. Maybe it'll last for 60 years and start breaking down a lot, or maybe even 45 years and start breaking down a lot. Just like a lot of people's bodies do if they don't take care of themselves when they're younger. So all we can do is act now and forget about the past. From now on to later, you're making healthy choices and you're going to be better for it. So, junk foods lead to more stress. Like I said, you feel really good when you do it, but then the next hour or day later, there's a lot of guilt and you just feel like junk because that big sugar high knocks down all that fat goes into the cells, and then you feel like junk for that. So eat junk, feel like junk, eat goodness, feel great. So don't diet. If you do a diet, if you're not going to do it forever, just try to live clean, eat as well as you can for life, and then just realize eating, being healthy is a lifestyle. Eating nuts for snacks are really good too. 2014, eat more nuts. Let's see, positive lifestyle, rest and relaxation are key to stress balance, and your body needs time to refresh itself. So when you're at work all day stressing out, you got to have plenty of time to rest and kind of rebuild your reserves and get your body back in line. Because when you're in bed and you're relaxing, that's when your body rebuilds itself, and that's when you make all those blood cells, and your body's able to repair all those tissues that you kind of work with your workout, or else if you're working really hard. So. And if you have a day off, like on Sunday or the weekend, try not to cram all your odds and ends in those days. Just take it as it is, a day off. And then
You write a prescription for that?
is it one of the top 20?
Write a prescription t-shirt for a day
It's
off.
on there.
Oh, a day off?
Yeah, take a day off once a week. Once a month even for some people, I don't know. And go to bed at a reasonable time and try to do that pretty regularly. Because if you're going to bed at 9 o'clock one night, midnight one night, 1 o'clock the next night, 8 o'clock the next night, it really throws your body off. So try that.
It's a constant.
Try to keep a constant bedtime. That'll keep your body working really well. And then a Sunday well spent brings a week of content. So remember one thing, remember that. We want to really relax on the weekends when we can, and then Sundays are made to be geared up for the week. So try not to procrastinate and keep everything off till Sunday at 9 p.m. when we have to go through that too. So. And then stop focusing on how stressed you are, and remember how blessed you are. So everybody else has a lot, there's plenty of people that have a lot worse life than we do, and we really have to, be gracious for what we've been given. And sometimes your jobs might not be the best, or might have a lot of stress with their family or whatever else. But there's a lot of people out there that have a lot of, we didn't have a mudslide knock our whole neighborhood out and kill all our friends and family. So that's pretty, we just appreciate what you have. And it was really cold this winter, but Minnesota just they get 12 inches of snow, so we don't have that going. That's awesome. And then if you guys are coming here, if you want, you can come in and get a complimentary stress assessment. You can check your spine, see if you have any of those misalignments that are putting pressure on the nervous system, which doesn't let us work as well. Or if your friends or family want to come in, let them know, and we can check them out and let them know, what's wrong with them, and if we can help them. And if not, we'll, send them in a direction where they can get help. So, also we do grocery store tours and Operation Healthy Bar, kind of like I said, those charitable chair massages. Just trying to get out in the community as much as we can and help other people out, help people live a healthier and happier life. And so there's no way to tell how stressed out you are until you have a professional give you an assessment. And then I look forward to helping you out and living your life at a higher level. And if you ever need anything, give us a call. Our number's on that card. And check out our Facebook page. Like I said, there's a lot of really cool information on there. And if you go back over the last several months, there's just dozens of cool tips, like cool stuff to feed your kids and good stuff to buy at the grocery store and good things to think about during the day. All kinds of awesome stuff. So, do you have any questions? We can go over this list too quick. Anybody have any questions about this list besides adding on to it? Let's see. Eat a good breakfast. Your breakfast, you want to try to get protein with your breakfast. So, if you try to avoid the high carb breakfast because you have like a Pop-Tart or just sugary cereal, that'll raise your blood sugar a lot, and then by 9, 10 o'clock you're gonna be crashing and wanting to get like bagel or donut or something like that and try to keep fueling yourself. So, try to get a good breakfast. Usually I'll have 2 or 3 eggs and like an avocado or some walnuts or something, and then maybe like a protein drink with it too. Really low sugar, and instead of throwing like kindling on your fire and having it burn up really quick, which is what high sugar foods do, like a lot of the breads, bagels, donuts, all that stuff, you want to throw like a big log on your fire so it burns evenly throughout the day. That's what protein and fat does. So a lot of good fats. Don't be a scaredy fat. Write stuff down. If something important's coming up, be sure you write it on a calendar so you don't forget about it. Because then you forget about it, and then you're really stressed out after that too. So you can play post-it notes around, that can help you out a lot. Duplicate power house keys in accessible locations with people you can trust. That can save a lot of grief. Practice preventative maintenance on your car, home, appliances, teeth, and your spine, your body. So you want to take care of stuff before it gets to be a big issue, right? We want to take care of smaller problems before we've had, pain for many years and have just dealt with it. So yeah, just like your car, we take our car in, 3-4 times a year to get checked. And if our car blows up, we're still alive, right? But if our body breaks down, we're stuck with it. So we only have one body. You got to really, be proactive with it, and it's way cheaper to get taken care of before it becomes a big issue than, like I said, an ounce of prevention is worth a pound of cure. So eat well 85% of the time. So nobody's perfect. We can all indulge every once in a while, but for 85% of the time, try to eat pretty well. And I'll talk more about eating well and getting healthy with the toxins talk. And then procrastination elimination. Try to avoid procrastinating. I know we all do it. I made this PowerPoint last night, so majority of it. Let's see. Credit cards, try to use them only for major planned purchases. So your husband's probably been saying that since day one, right? Kohl's has a lot of good deals. They have 95% off everything there. You got to get your Kohl's cash, but you got to plan stuff out in advance so you can avoid paying a lot of interest. Then try to get 30 minutes of brisk exercise daily, even just walking fast. 20 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night. Just try to walk fast around the block. Maybe march in place in your house while you're watching a TV show. Seek balance in everything. We try not to be so work focused or too focused on family, so work suffers. Try to just have a healthy balance of everything. And it takes time and it takes work to learn how to do that. But if we all just put effort into doing that, we can really learn how to get the most out of all aspects of our life. And then remind yourself that Babe Ruth struck out 1,300 plus times. Nobody's perfect. Michael Jordan, I think, got cut from his freshman basketball team, and he persevered and got through that kind of stress. And, now he's one of the best basketball players that's ever lived. And then, like I said, do your best, leave out the rest. Nobody can ask you for more than your best. Hug an animal. If you have a dog or a cat, just spend some time with them, hanging out on the couch. They're very good companions, and they really appreciate your time. And you can talk to your dog about any problems you have. They'll listen to you all day long. So they're not gonna, degrade you or say anything bad to you. Do one thing at a time. Try to really focus on, write out what you want to do for the day, and then try to knock things out one at a time and cross off stuff after you do it. And that'll make you feel like you are really in control of your life. Live in the present. All we have is the present. All we have is the moment. We can't affect the future. We can't affect the past. So just really make the most of whatever moment you have at that moment. If you're dwelling on something that happened 10 years ago and it's affecting your health today, you're really doing yourself a disservice. You're also doing your family and friends a disservice because you're not giving as much of yourself as you can because of that thing that happened that can't be changed. So, try to reconcile whatever happened, and just make the most of the moment you have because most people, they're not around anymore. So live for them. And then if something's out of your control, stop worrying about it. Like I said, with people that get irritated with sports games or with the news and stuff, it's like you can't control it. So with politics and religion, it's like you have one vote, just vote that day, and then people get shouty matches over politics, it divides people. It's really don't have a big effect over it. So unless you have $50 billion, you can pay people to do stuff. Let's see, anything else there? And that's about it. So yeah, just live in the moment, and if you guys have any questions at all, just try to enjoy every second of your lives and focus on the deep breathing. And if you have any questions, hopefully this is worthwhile. If you have any tips for me to improve my talks, let me know. Then I'll do better with future groups I talk to. But I should be here in a month, right, Tracy?
Yeah.
But all those toxins that we have in our life that we need to eliminate. A lot of common things that you think are safe, but they really aren't. And they can cause a lot of issues. So stay tuned. All right, thanks guys.